Turn the pages, let the darkness.
Hi everyone, nice to see you here. I do hope the start of your year has been good. Seems like forever since I was last talking to you, but I have got lots of lovely books to talk to you about tonight. So let's get started. So first off, we are starting as usual with picture books. And oh my gosh, have I been sent some amazing stuff in the past 6 weeks. I have been absolutely spoilt, which has been wonderful. First couple are very much on the lower end of the age groups, I would say. You Can Do It, Bert is very funny. I really did enjoy this. It's all about Bert, who is getting himself ready to do something. And that thing is to run off the end of this twig. And it is just so funny because the amount of times that he gets to the end and then no, he turns back and he doesn't go. But in the end, yes, he does. He does jump off the end and ends up with his friends, and he gets lots of positive encouragement from them. It is just lovely. I really enjoyed it. Next one's a board book, New Boots, which is all about Boo the elephant, who's got some shiny red boots and they're new and he doesn't want them to get dirty. So he's decides that he's not going to play outside anymore because they're not going to get he doesn't want them to get any marks on them. But when he sees his friend Cedric at the park, Cedric very sensibly encourages him to play, and he realizes that people and experiences are more important than any object whatsoever, even if they are shiny red boots. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It is the classic story that we all know and love, The Velveteen Rabbit, but this time the pictures are drawn by my second favourite artist, which is David Litchfield. I absolutely love David Litchfield's pictures, and this book is just beautiful. It even brought a tear to my eye at the end of it, which is quite unusual for a picture book, but it's beautiful. My Little Drummer is a book that has been written by Sian Radford, and it's from her own experiences of being neurodivergent. And this little girl who has ADHD, she has what she describes as a little drummer in her head that's drumming to the beat that she's comfortable with. And some things make that drummer get a lot faster and a lot noisier, and that's often too many people, or it's feelings of overwhelmed, or various other things that she goes through in the story. It's a really playful, fun story that's really going to promote empathy, and there are some really nice onomatopoeia in there that I think the kids are actually going to love joining in with as they listen to the story. So good one to read aloud, I think, that one. Turtle Who Turned the Tide has an ecological message. It's about a little turtle who is hatched on a beach, and there's lots and lots of animals who have gathered to see who's going to win the race to get down to the sea first. And Chula is actually winning. She's winning and she's doing really, really well. And then she realizes her brother is actually turned the wrong way and he's going away from the sea. So she has to decide, is she going to go on to win the race, or is she going to go back and help her sibling? And of course, she goes back and helps her sibling, and then everybody else joins in so that all of the turtles get to the sea in the end. Welcoming the Lunar New Year. This one's ready for that occurrence, which is in the middle of March, I believe. It's 13th of March, I think, Lunar New Year this year. And it's all about Ren and his family, who are getting ready for the Lunar New Year, and they're getting ready for their celebrations. But unfortunately, Ren is a little bit accident prone. Goodness only knows, do I understand that? I'm the clumsiest person alive. And he rips apart his mum's dragon costume. So he has to then go to his neighbours to help him get things to fix the dragon. And in doing so, he learns all about Lunar New Year celebrations around the world, and also learns an awful lot about community and helping people. Really like this one. Lovely bright illustrations, and I like the recipe at the back. There was a recipe for peanut cookies and a craft activity for making a dragon as well. Okay, so yeah, this is so lovely. I mean, I love Emily Gravett's illustrations as well. She can put so much expression into her pictures that you just feel as though they're about to jump off the page. And this one, Bear's Nap, is all about a poor bear. All he wants to do is have a nap. He just wants to have a sleep. But there's this annoying cheeping sound that keeps going on, and it's just stopping him from sleeping. So he has to leave his cave, and he goes around to all the other animals, but none of them can cheep, and actually none of them can really hear the cheeping. It's just him. It does come to a very satisfactory end, and no, the bird doesn't stop cheeping, but yes, Bear does get his nap. It's very lovely. Sticky Mildred is just the best fun, and it just reminded me so much of that stage that toddlers go through, where they do seem to pick up every bit of stickiness that's around. Mildred Honeyfur, which is a delightful name to start with. She absolutely loves being sticky, and she refuses to take a bath. So she's trying to find the stickiest objects in the world. So she's traveling around finding sticky things, and all the time that she finds sticky things, everything's getting stuck to her, including her parents and various other animals. Luckily, in the end, she does manage to unstick herself, and she does come to realise that actually being clean is something nice as well. It's a laugh out loud picture book, and I think younger children would absolutely adore it. This is beautiful. The Great Bear is all about a huge polar bear who is the one that protects the earth and also oversees the balance of life. So it's an ecological tale. It's the actual paintings, the hand painted illustrations are just stunning. I'm absolutely in awe. And it's got lots and lots as well of inspiring facts about real life polar bears, which I really enjoyed reading, because, you know, I like that mix of the fiction and the non-fiction. And several of these books I'm going to show you today do in fact have that same mix. So coming to our next book, The Big Green. I've only actually got this one in today, so I've read it today as well. This is it's a book about the Great Green Wall of Africa, which is being created. It's a forest region that's been planted up in the centre of Africa to hopefully help halt the desert taking over the entire country. This particular story, it's all about the community that's needed in order to work on this amazingly important project. The illustrations on this one, I was blown away by, because they really do evoke the dryness and the heat that make the Great Green Wall so very necessary. There's some facts in the back of it again, so that you can work out the background to the story. Really, really interesting. I didn't know anything about the Great Wall of Africa, and I know that's probably because I'm a bit ignorant and I don't tend to look at geography that much, but I found it very interesting. This is who I am. I actually ran an event with Rashmi a couple of months ago, I think, about this exact book, and I was really impressed with it then. It's very much, she says it's very much partly autobiographical for her, because it's all about a young girl who is in two lands. She says she has a foot in two lands because she was born in one place and now she's living in another place. And there are so many beautiful analogies in this. It's talking about how the memories and the tastes and the sights and the sounds all evoke different things for her, and that it's about, she is in fact the shared history. She is the one that has got all of that history within her. It's absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. And I did also enjoy all the information that she's put in about historical figures at the back of the book. This comes as one of a couple on the same sort of thing. This is a very happy Ramadan, and it is so bright and so shiny, absolutely beautiful. Its purpose, I suppose, is really to introduce the subject of fasting to young children, explaining that, you know, you can still celebrate Ramadan even if you can't fast. When young Rayhan wakes up in the morning, he decides that because he's only allowed to have porridge, he's going to fast as well. But what he hasn't really factored in is the fact that he's going to be absolutely starving. So he doesn't end up fasting the entire day, but he does learn an awful lot about Ramadan and about how being with your friends and family and doing things for other people is a very important part of it. It's not just about fasting. Next one, moving on from that one, is a golden Eid, and this one is all about Eid and the celebrations of Eid and decorating the house and all of the different snacks. And young Hafsa learns a very, very important lesson about sharing. When they've made her favourite dessert or sweet, if you like, for Eid, and that's halwa, and it's actually got gold leaf on it, which I was fascinated by. And she is desperate. She's desperate to eat this halwa. But near the end of the story, we realise there is one neighbour that they go to that hasn't got anything and hasn't actually tried this same dessert. So Hafsa runs back to her house, gets the halwa, and she brings it to her neighbours. So she learns a very, very important lesson about sharing. And luckily, when it comes to the feast, others have brought loads of food, so she's got plenty anyway. It's really nice. I love this one. Prince of Stars. Now, this was really interesting to me. It's a picture book biography of a prince, Ulu Beg, whom I'd never heard of, I must admit, who was an absolutely amazing astronomer and mathematician, and he actually built an observatory and created a star catalogue. And the way that he created the star catalogue was that he had to produce steps, and then they measured the angle, because they could only get to the angle of this huge monitor that he'd built by going up steps. And he mapped the entire heavens that way. It's just absolutely fascinating and very, very inspiring. This isn't a newly out, but I've only just got it. Boldest White goes along with the first two books in this same series, The Proudest Blue and The Kindest Red. All of them are absolutely wonderful. All of them are empathetic, and all of them are informative as well, and promote equality and promote understanding. Just beautiful books. This one is just pure fun. Absolutely pure fun. When I learned that this was by Giles Andreae, who also wrote Giraffes Can't Dance, everything made sense to me. My granddaughter loves Giraffes Can't Dance. I've read it many, many, many times. And also Nick East, who illustrated it, wrote one of our other favourites, which is Christopher Pumpkin, which is another really fun book. This is all about an animal band. It's about one dog. He starts off with one dog, and then he meets a fox with a fiddle, and then they meet a lion with a lute, a tiger with a Tudor, etc., etc. And this band keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It is riotous. It's fun, and as I say, I think children would absolutely love making all the sounds of all of the instruments whilst reading it. And obviously it's a fun counting story, so they're going to be learning their numbers as well. Well, some of you may know that I am a little bit obsessed with tigers. And this one, I'm very pleased to have got a little bit early. It's beautiful. It's such good fun. This is all about a tiger who only likes to eat cake. He doesn't eat anything else. He only eats cake. And then subsequently, unsurprisingly, he gets a toothache. So the little boy who looks after him takes him to the dentist, and the dentist is not very happy with him at all and tells him off, and he has to have some fillings and various other things. And she tells him that he's not to have any more cake. And when the little boy asks, well, what should he be eating? She said, well, he needs to eat the things that tigers normally eat. Well, let's just say there's not a dentist for very much longer because the tiger takes his revenge. It's very funny and very sweet. This is, I've forgotten how to let my confetti off, but this is probably my top picture book that I've received recently. Goldilocks, absolutely love it. It's apparently in Fairy Tale Land there are only 3 jobs for girls. You can either be a witch, you can be a princess, or you can be oh my goodness, the witch, a princess, and I can't remember the third one. How annoying is that? Excuse me one moment. As I happen to know it's right behind me, let's go in and check it. There we are. A wicked witch, or an evil queen, or a royal princess. That's all the only things you're allowed to do if you're a girl in Fairy Tale Land. Now, Goldilocks does not like this at all. She is not very happy because she doesn't want to do any of those things. She definitely doesn't want to be a princess waiting for a prince, because that's going to be right boring. So she just try them all out for size, but none of them quite work for her. She just doesn't fit into that mould. And in fact, she does make some good friends along the way, who surprisingly are bears, 3 bears. It's a really fun story, and it's all about how she finds out that she's the person that matters and that she doesn't have to conform to any of the stereotypes that are put on her. Brave Little Whale. This one doesn't come out to the 5th of March. It is stunning, absolutely stunning. It's a mixture of a story, but on the same pages there are also some facts as well. So you could either just read the story if it was, say, perhaps a younger child, or if the child was slightly older, then I'm sure they'd enjoy all of the facts that are in there. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's all about the migration of these whales, and it's about how a young whale has to become very brave and help someone when he's left his grandfather behind because his grandfather's too old to migrate. It's absolutely lovely. Catherine Barr. Again, coincidentally, I did an event with Catherine Barr week before last, and she's absolutely amazing. She is so good at events. I mean, if you've got any of you are primaries, then I think she'd be absolutely amazing. The event I did with her was for her last book, which was Colours of Nature, and she even had me drawing a peacock tarantula, which I'm quite arachnophobic, so it wasn't that comfortable a drawing, but there you go. This new one that's coming out is out now, actually, is about cities going wild. Pages are just full of colour and facts and interesting bits and pieces. And also, just about every other page has got a spotting task for the children. So it'll say, find the blue butterfly or the pink flower and all this sort of thing. I was really fascinated with information about spongy spaces, which I'd never heard of before, and apparently which are being created in lots of cities around the world to encourage wildlife. So, yeah, very informative, but very eye-catching as well. Right, moving on to middle grade. Okay, I have got several. This Dragon Tales. It's not a graphic novel, but it's a highly illustrated early reader, I'd say. This is all about dragon, and it's definitely best for early readers. It is high on the toilet humour. It's high on the silliness. I would think younger children would absolutely adore it because of the utter ridiculousness of the mistakes that Dragon makes. Obviously, it's Dav Pilkey, so we knew it was going to be funny, but it's definitely for a younger audience than his usual books, and I think it's really good. This is charming. Absolutely charming. This is the third one in this series, but I hadn't actually seen the first two. What's Whiskerton is a young mouse. I'm pretty sure he's a mouse. And they go on holiday at the Great Glacier Hotel and Ski Resort. And they've gone with his parents, but his parents end up being the prime suspects in a heist that's gone on in the hotel, and Watts and his faithful companion Pearl have to try really, really hard to clear his parents' names, which of course they do in the end. Sorry, he's not a mouse at all, he's a dog. Anyway, the dog and the cat have to learn to ski, they have to go through heavy snow, and there's also a locked room mystery. But again, all of that is bound up in an early reader. I've sent this one to my granddaughter, but I haven't heard back from her whether she likes it or not yet. I'm sure she will. This one, however, I know she loves. This is another early reader. Iris and Luna are at Abracadabra School, and they are learning to be magical animal keepers. It's very charming. Really nice illustrations throughout. Very cute pictures. You've got Iris loving rainbows and Luna prefers storms. Yes, there is a little bit of the Wednesday Addams, I would say, about this one. But they have, in this one, they have a potions competition and come to realise not everything is always fair, but they also managed to find some newborn wolf cubs in the woods. It's really sweet, cute, and I think younger girls and boys would love it. These two, again, I read these two today. That's two in an early reader series. What I loved about it is it's about a little girl called Cleo, but she's got a magical helper. And her magical helper is called Mark, Bookmark. And I'm sorry, that just made me titter. I just thought it was very funny. And Mark is able to help her jump into stories and change the way that they end up, which is great fun. She does end up helping Cinderella to live happily ever after. My favourite bit was probably a bit near the end of the book. Somebody says to the Cinderella and the prince, "Oh, so you're going to run away and get married now?" And one of the others turns to them and says, don't be silly, they only met last night, which I thought was absolutely lovely, absolutely lovely. And then Hansel and Gretel, again, twist on the classic story in that Cleo helps Hansel and Gretel to escape by turning the Wicked Witch into cake, which sounds like a good way of doing things to me. Excuse me for just 1 second. I need to turn my laptop on because it's not plugged in. Okay, yeah, so both of them I thought were really good fun, and I think it's going to be a great series going forward. Happiness According to Humphrey. Well, yeah, I should think the granddaughters absolutely love this one because it's about a hamster called Humphrey, and that is, of course, our surname. Humphrey has been around for a very long time, and I'm sure many of you will recognise him. But this one is about Humphrey, who gets a little bit jealous because he is a classroom hamster, and a dog starts coming into school, and the children read to the dog, and it really helps the children out with their reading. But Humphrey's feeling a little bit left out. And we also have a side issue going on where there's a frog in the classroom, and the frog is not very well because someone's been feeding the wrong food. It's just good fun story. Dave Pigeon. Now, this is the last ever we're going to see of Dave Pigeon. We've had 10 years of Dave Pigeon, and this is his swan song, I'm afraid. It's okay. He's perfectly healthy at the end of it, but Sopner has obviously decided that she's not going to be writing anymore. So there's a really fun bit at the end that's almost like a little chapter where all of the characters that have appeared in the book say goodbye to you because they're not coming back in another story, which I thought was a really lovely touch. It's all about how Dave gets very jealous because another pigeon arrives on the scene, and the human that's been looking after them is very, very keen on this so-called injured pigeon, and lots of mayhem ensues, lots of silly rivalry and silly competitions. It actually did make me laugh out loud. I really enjoyed it. Song of Midnight Meadow, Dreamkeepers. This is, I think it's the second one because I think I read the first one. Again, it's a series of early readers, but a little bit further on, I'd say, than the ones I've just been talking about. A little bit more complex, but it's all about how these young girls, when they have a certain artifact, when they fall asleep, they enter a dreamland, and things that they do in the dreamland have repercussions in the real world. This one's very much about being kind. It's about friendship and being nice to people, I would say. I do apologise. I'm having a little bit of a problem here with my laptop. Let me just get that switched in. Yes, that is fine now. Okay. This one is from a series, a TV series, which I have never actually heard of and I haven't seen. It's called Unicorn Academy. Some of you that have young children may have heard of it before, but this is the first feature-length episode told in a book form. And it's all about Sophia and Wildstar, and it's got pictures on every single page, very glossy pictures as well, lots of magic and sparkle in it, and it's all about unicorns. I mean, come on, what kid's not going to love a book about unicorns? Very much a good fun read, this one. I did show this one at the festive Little Cup, but I hadn't read it then, and now that I have read it, I just had to talk to you about it again because it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's not a Christmas story per se. Actually, it's a wintry story, but not Christmas. And it's all about a young boy whose little sister has a pretty serious illness, and he's always having to go into hospital and have operations. And he feels very guilty because he resents this somewhat, and his parents tend to make a lot of fuss over his sister, understandably, but he does get lost a little bit. So because his little sister's about to have surgery, he goes to stay with his uncle in a forest, and there he meets a girl, and I say the word carefully because we've come to find she's not actually a real life human girl, but she helps him rediscover his voice and enjoy music and make friends, and also to talk to his parents about how he's feeling. It made me cry, but beautiful writing, absolutely beautiful writing. I think this is the second of the Lockett and Wild mysteries. This one's called The Ghosts of London. Very atmospheric. I loved it. It was all full of London smog and ghosts moving around the streets of London, and our heroes end up pursuing the ghosts. And Matilda, who is our main character, she and Edgar, they both join forces in order to investigate some strange happenings at a local shop, which is not easy for Edgar because Edgar is in fact a ghost, and so can't always help as much as he wants to. Really lovely. I enjoyed this one. Although I do enjoy anything about London, it has to be said. This is the second Mallory Vale and Maggotty Skull book, The Beast from Beneath. Again, it's not new. It came out last year. I've only just got around to reading it, and wasn't I glad that I did. I love the humour in this series. They are very skullduggery pleasant, and that's one of my absolute favourite series in the whole wide world. You've got, same as you did in the first book, there is a mystery to be solved, there are accidents to happen, various bits of slapstick, slightly dark humour, and not too dark though for younger children, I don't think. This is the third in the Magicalia series. I think this series is absolutely brilliant, and I think it's going from strength to strength, and it's been proven, I think, by the popularity that I've seen it getting in schools and with children. This new one has got lots and lots of magical creatures in, which is probably why it's my favourite. Absolutely loved it. It draws you into this magical world. You've got lots of different things to discover about the magical world, and as I say, tons and tons of animals and locations. I love the inventions in it as well. That's something that I've really enjoyed reading about. Oh, now this one, I really wasn't sure about it at first. The monsters at the end of the world. I was like, I'm not quite sure what's going on. By the end of it, I was blown away by it. It's set in kind of a dystopian world where we have killed nature to such an extent that the people that are left are living in small settlements, and they have to stay within their settlements because nature in a way is fighting back. There are monsters that live in the sea, and they are dangerous monsters, and the main food that they're having in the village is fish, and so the fishermen are going out and fishing the seas, and you get the impression that this overfishing is going to bring back the same situation that started all of this off in the beginning. So Sunny, our young girl, she happens to meet a monster. She finds a monster, And all her life she's been told that these monsters are dangerous and that she shouldn't go anywhere near them, etc., etc. But she finds that when she touches the monster, they are able to read each other's thoughts and communicate. And she realizes that what this monster is doing in the village is it's looking for his little brother. And his little brother hasn't been seen for days and days and days. So Sunny has to hide him and then try and help her find Mo. It's so wonderfully written. It's a real feel good by the end of it. But yeah, salutary tale as well, because, you know, when the monsters first come to the shore looking for Mo, the reaction of some of the villagers is very violent. And so it's all about, you know, being against anything that's different to yourself and anything you don't understand. Really, really recommend this one. Enjoyed it very much. Tanya Landman, brilliant author anyway, as we know. This one's really, I quite enjoyed this. It's a time slip adventure. And it's all about Anna, who finds herself dreaming of a girl from 1919. Anna is alive in 1976. I quite enjoyed that as well, because there were little things that it said about 1976, and me being that old, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. She gets lots and lots more vivid dreams, and it gets a little bit scary going on, because she realizes that the young girl that she's dreaming about needs help, and she's the one that has been chosen to help her. As I say, Tanya Landman's writing is always spot on. But this one I did find really, really interesting. It got a little bit, as I say, a little bit scary at the end, but not too bad. This one is the book that's been produced for the National Year of Reading. I do hope you're all getting lots of support in order to do your celebrations for the National Year of Reading. I do say that very tongue-in-cheek. But Inspire Me, which has been brought out for the National Year of Reading, is really good. Actually, it is really good. It's got lots of poetry, prose, letters, song, lyrics, you name it, it's in there. And it very much makes the point that, you know, reading isn't just about reading novels. It could be reading anything. So, yeah, I think they've made a really good job of this. I've really enjoyed it. Graphic novels, yes. Now, we've got a few graphic novels. Amelia Cheeseheart. This is the next one in the Amelia Cheeseheart series. And this is about, I think this is so charming. Little Amelia is a mouse, and she lives in a museum, an amazing museum. And when the doors are locked at night, her and her friend Webster, who is a very cuddly looking spider, go off exploring through all of the different areas of the museum. And in this one, they find out who has been stealing the chocolate from the museum gift shop. Absolutely gorgeous full colour illustrations, and just perfect for those just starting to enjoy graphic novels. I have two manga here as well. This is the first and the second in this series, in a new series. Once I'd got past the reading from the back to the front, which is something quite an art, I did enjoy the tech aspect to this, because it's about people who have got their hands on Mecha Ude, or Ood, which are powerful sentient mechanical beings, and they attach themselves to their human hosts, and they have amazing powers, which helps the human hosts out an awful lot, which naturally creates lots of jealousy and lots of problems, and there's lots of secret organizations coming in, and there's spy stuff and lots of action. Really good, actually. And I think they'll go down really, really well in secondary libraries. Wings of Fire. I mean, this is about I'm not sure, I think it's the 8th or something in this series, but these are the graphic novels of a book series, and I'm sorry to say I hadn't heard of the book series, which is a shame really, because when I had a look at it, it looks like right up my street, and I am definitely going to go back and have a look at the novels. What can I say about this? Well, there are dragons on every page. It's a story about dragons. There is nothing more that I need to say, in my opinion. Very interesting plot. There's a real cliffhanger at the end, and Turtle, who is not really your normal leader type. His role really is to hide, but has to become brave and has to come out of hiding and save the day. Okay, now on to our young adults. This Flipped is based on Great Expectations, and it's a time slip story again. I've put it in YA because the main protagonist is 17, but there's no reason why I wouldn't give this to a year 7, year 6 sort of thing, because there's nothing in it that would make me want to give it to an older child. It's just because of the main protagonist being 17. It's a really interesting meld of the story of Great Expectations brought up into modern times, and as I say, it's a time slip story, so although it does start in modern times, Flip chances on a mysterious abandoned house, and as soon as he enters the house he realizes everything is not what he would expect it to be. Yeah, it was very, very enjoyable, and it will be a good lead in to Dickens as well. This was just a joy. Costumes for Time Travellers is just a joy. It's a pure fantasy, and it's about Callisto, who works in their grandmother's shop, and their grandmother has a shop that makes costumes for when you are time travelling, because obviously if you're time travelling to the Victorian age you need to be attired properly. So Callisto is actually a tailor, if you like, and he's creating costumes for travellers that are time travelling. That's all fine until Fawkes, who is a time traveller, arrives, and Callisto very gradually starts to fall in love. Now, he can either stay in the comfort of his home in Pocket, or he can join Fawkes, because there are forces that are threatening this way of life, that's threatening time travel, and in the best tradition, they are the only ones who can stop it. Really a good, cosy fantasy, I'd say, with that one. Going from cosy to not at all cosy, They Own the Night. I love Amy McCaw's books. I always find they are really interesting in a retro sense, and this one's the same, because I mean it's set in the 1980s, but it's a retelling of Dracula, and it stays very faithful to the original plot whilst bringing it into a more modern setting, in that Dracula, if you like, is a rock star, and Johnny has to go and interview this rock star, and over the course of time he realizes, of course, that this rock star is certainly not a normal person, and there's rather too much drinking blood going on than he would have liked. There's also a subplot in that him and his sister, their dad was a serial killer and is in prison at the moment. I don't want to give away the twist, because there is a real twist with that, but it's a really good twist. So really enjoyed the setting, and thought it was a great retelling. It's always hard not to give too much away. Oh, this was an interesting one. The main character in this, Mika, she's a mortician's assistant in her parents' funeral home, which is not something I think I'd ever aspire to be, but there you go. But there's something not quite right about this funeral home. Mika's never realised what it is, but there are some slightly odd things that happen that give you a bit of an inkling. Then tragedy strikes and her boyfriend is killed, or is he? Because suddenly it seems that there is somebody stalking her, and people are leaving things at her door, and people are following her, etc. And yes, we do realise that in fact her boyfriend has been brought back to life. It is a take on the Frankenstein story. Very dark, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, thoroughly recommend this one. It's not too gory. A few bits that made me go, oh, but no, it's yeah, really good read. Lily's Monster by Cliff McNish. What need I say more? Cliff McNish. Oh my god. This one is his latest. It's classic Cliff McNish. It is so good. So good. It's all about a restless spirit, and it's about this family. They moved to this house to get away from the brother's sad death, and then the father is the first one who starts to change, and he starts to become very domineering and very violent. And the mum and Holly, the main character, that they don't know why, but they have to start kind of playing along with him because he's become so violent. It is so dark and so well written, and there was a really, really good ending. Really, really good ending. Absolutely classic Cliff McNish. I Wish So Deadly. Now, funnily enough, just got my paper copy of that through today. This is a fantasy romance, but it's enemies to lovers. It's romantasy. I really enjoyed it. It's about a competition, so it's got kind of Hunger Games vibes. Definite romantasy though, but no spice. So if you're looking for something that you can pass to your year 7s, year 8s, there's a little bit alluded to, but there's never anything graphic in it. And the competition element is the main part about it, and that's really well done. I did enjoy that. There you go. Listen Closely, I've had on my shelf for ages, and it came out last year, and I'm so sorry I didn't read it before because I really enjoyed it. Jude is a very quiet person, but he has a secret in that he has a podcast, and his podcast is called The Night Merchant, and it's a fantasy podcast. And this whole book introduced me to another type of podcast that I didn't even know was out there, the Fantasy Story podcast, and I've listened to a few now, and they've been absolutely great. I've really enjoyed them. So it's very much a Grumpy versus Sunshine dynamic. He has to be an intern with somebody else that he really doesn't like that much, and he doesn't think they're going to get on, but they do pull together. But the other person has got secrets as well, until we find at the end that all of these secrets mesh together. This one I only finished tonight. Would you believe? Half an hour before I came onto this podcast, I finished this. And it is amazing. I absolutely loved it. For a debut novel, absolutely stunning. It's fantasy. It's about misogynism, it's dark academia, magic, female power. I can't recommend it enough. I absolutely loved it, and I will be looking out for future books by this same author, definitely. I've got one puzzle book to show. This is Sophie's Incredible Journey, which is probably for, yeah, I'd say maybe age 7 and up, because and what I love most about it, of course, Sophie discovers a map and an unusual request for help in the library. She's in a library, and then she has to go off on magical adventures, and each page is a different place, and each page has got different puzzles to solve. Really, really good fun, and very bright. And Sophie is a great heroine in it, because she's very full of courage and daring, very daring, which is lovely. Okay, so what am I reading next? Well, I shouldn't really be reading either of these yet, because they're not coming out for ages, but I've got to. I've been lucky enough to get a proof of Patrick Ness's new book, Piper at the Gates of Dust, which is from the Chaos Walking world. So definitely want to read that next. And then I've also been invited to read The Woman Who Wasn't There, which is Bill Hussey's newest book. This is not coming out till June, but it is an adult mystery, so I can't wait to read both of those. Okay, so some things I've got coming up that, in case you might be interested, I am doing a webinar for Access It, which is in a couple of weeks, 25th, and that's on Life After Publisher, because I've had so many people ask me about what they're going to do about their newsletters, etc. now that Publisher's going. So we're doing a 1 hour webinar on it. And then on the 27th of February, I'm running one of my own courses on Canva, which is a 3-hour course, which covers Canva, you know, from start to finish, basically, which is a lot more involved. So next link up is on the 27th of March at 7 p.m. Okay, I think that's me just about finished. It's probably nearly my voice just about finished. So I do hope you've seen some things there that you're interested in, and I will see you in March. Have a good week off, everybody. Bye for now.